Welcome to class. For this lesson, we're going to look at a new feature that's in Midjourney, as well as explore kind of the basics of how artificial intelligence works. The thing that Midjourney added to their program is actually a pretty good example of just as a conceptual thing of how artificial intelligence works. So let's take a look at the new Midjourney tool and use its application to help us understand how AI does what it does and how it makes things for us. Let's dive in. All right, here we are inside of Midjourney. As we know from earlier lessons, we actually call up images from Midjourney just by DMing the Midjourney bot. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a prompt here. We're going to do /imagine, and we're going to do something to kind of demonstrate this new tool that Midjourney has. Let's say a Lego set diorama, close up, and let's add the term isometric to it. And let's add an aspect ratio of, let's do 4:3. 4:3. All right, let's see what this makes for us. And the reason that I kind of want it to be a diorama is because that'll be a good way to explore this new feature. You see these little arrows here underneath this image up here from this other Lego prompt that I did. These are what we're going to be playing with, that and the zoom out 1.5 and 2x buttons. So let's see what we get back here. I'm kind of liking where this is starting because this is very good for our purposes, as you'll see. All right, so we're 78% done. We're seeing the computer dream up this image here. It's pretty amazing. To this day, it amazes me to watch it do that. So let's open this up and pick one of the images. Let's do open in browser just so we can see the full resolution. So here is the first one, this top left one, and then the top right. That one looks a little bit more Lego-y than the one on the top left, I think. This one looks very Lego-y to me. This one looks like some of this you could actually make out of a Lego set. And then here on the bottom right, it's a little far away. It's a little bit zoomed out chaos. I kind of like how close up this bottom left is. So that's the one that we're going to work with. So let's go back into Midjourney here. And we're going to upscale number 3 here. So it counts 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is number 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click this button here, this right arrow. Let's see what we get when we click that. Submit. And this is the new thing that Midjourney can do. One of the new things. They keep adding crazy new stuff to Midjourney, which is awesome. They have a team of only like 11 people, last I checked, and that is pretty incredible if you ask me. They even put out a magazine. There's been 3 issues of the magazine. It's like $4 a month or something like that. And in the magazine, they have some of the best art created by the community. So it's really cool to see Midjourney actually growing this community and featuring the art and making it possible to do really cool stuff like this. All right, so our image here, as you can see, the left side is super clear and the right side is kind of coming into focus. That's because the AI is kind of deciding what to do with the right side, and then as it kind of gets an idea of what it wants to do, it will then elaborate on that, make a higher resolution step by step, but the left side was already pretty high res. So this is almost done. Okay, so you see the left side of the image starts with this little building here and the plants here just like above, but now the right side of the image has been expanded to include more stuff. So let's take a look at it. This is actually pretty cool. You see this little cozy window here. It's behind some greenery. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Let me move my photo here, or my camera here. And this one looks pretty cool too. I like that it leaves the background a little bit more vague than this one does. This one kind of looks like it was maybe photographed on someone's kitchen island, and we might run out of generatable universe if we go with that one. This one looks super cozy and comfy. I love its vibe. I love how it completed the building here. You remember how it kind of cut off right here? Now it's added more of the same building. And then here, this one looks fairly similar to the one on the right. So let's take one more look at each of these and choose which way forward. This one kind of indicates that the world runs out on the right side here. That would be a curious thing to explore. This one would probably continue. This one here would definitely continue. And that, as would maybe this one, it looks like maybe the world ends right there. So I'm going to pick the bottom right one because it looks like the world keeps going. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back in here. We're going to click Upscale 4. And we're actually going to have the AI continue to build this world. So let's go right. So we're going to the right here. You notice the up and down buttons are no longer an option. On the initial one, we could go vertical and we could like make a stripe, a column of an image, and now we're doing a row of an image instead. And it's just waiting to start. But let's go back and look at a few that I've done recently. This was, let me get back to, yeah, so this was a cool one that I did with another class where we started out with this this like Renaissance era painting here, and we chose which one to expand, and we kept expanding that one for a while, and eventually it got pretty crazy. So this was the diorama that we ended up creating. It's pretty incredible, pretty intense, right? So this is a really cool new feature of Midjourney. Is just expanding the image infinitely in any direction. And it would just keep going. I haven't heard of there being a limit of what you can do with it. So I would imagine that you could just keep expanding this world to the right. It might descend into chaos or like just like become a dark image or something, but I haven't found the edge of that yet. So let's go back to this. This is our newly expanded image here to the right. And let's see what the AI did with it. So I like this one. So we've kind of brought new building in here, kind of almost closer to the camera. We've added we've kept our cool lighting going on, which is awesome. This one, the building kind of implies that it ends right here. And this one too kind of goes off into darkness. And then this one here looks like we've got kind of these open glass window rooms, which look kind of cool and cozy, but slightly less Lego-y than what we started out with. So we'll expand one more time. I'm curious to see what it puts to the left of this, since the lighting seems to be coming directly overhead in all of these. So let's expand. This one looks pretty good and Lego-y. This one looks less so, more miniature-y than anything. So does this. So let's expand this one here to the left. I like the first one. And this feels almost more like play than education or work here. And this is actually a skill that you can have that would be relevant in all kinds of scenarios. So I believe that it's possible that you could have somebody pay you to do things with this, which could be really fun. So we're going to expand it to go to the left here. And again, not very many people know how to use Midjourney. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, most people don't even know what Discord is or how to use it. And so adding another layer of complexity, like how to prompt an artificial intelligence like Midjourney onto that, this is still a pretty high barrier to entry. If you're watching this class, it probably feels like really easy and simple to you to do this stuff. But the good news is it still takes some learning. And the more you know about Midjourney, the more that people will ask you for help with generating AI images. So I have gotten paid to use Midjourney for my friends and acquaintances and my friends of friends. So it's definitely something that people need help with. So if you think this looks like fun, this could absolutely be a career path, or at least a side hustle where you can play with an AI image generator and get paid for it. All right, so this is our ultimate form here. I think it did pretty good. So this left side is the new stuff, and this, we got something kind of in our face, out of focus here, and we got a new building here, a little alleyway. That's kind of cool. And this one, it just looks like it just expanded to the left of this building, which is kind of where the image ended, expanded to the left and made it a corner, and then a little street here. And this one, it made it into a cool little like walkway over water. That's actually really creative. It's fun that the AI thought to just like do some like fancy naturescaping through here and kind of have it match this vibe, and put this tree in here, which of course this tree is not a Lego piece, but it matches the Lego stuff going on here. And I don't know what these characters are doing, but from a distance, if you squint, it looks really Lego-y, but it's not really a good match. Look at all this chaos going on in here. It's like the AI started to do some stuff and just kind of gave up on it, like this weirdness here. So this is definitely the weakest of the four. So if I was to choose one of these to like display as, maybe, I don't know, maybe this would be like a Lego YouTube channel. Like you could use this as the banner image, or even as a image thumbnail for your video too. I would probably go with this one down here on the right with the new water feature. So what we're going to do is we are going to click Upscale 4, and we'll just get the high resolution version of this one. Cool, and there it is. This is a very interesting image. Like this is very cool, and we just guided an artificial intelligence through generating this for us. And it's cool. This down here, it looks like ripples, but this is the kind of like look you could get if like with expert work on like some acrylic pours or something. So it looks like it's supposed to be water but isn't, which is like pretty meta. So it's supposed to be water that isn't, and it's supposed to be water that isn't, which is cool. But good job to Midjourney doing this. I love the new look left and look right features that they have going on here. So that is their new thing. What we're going to do is we are going to try a couple more buttons here. We're going to click Make Square, and we're going to see what that one does. My guess is it will expand the image up and down. I could be wrong about that. So this is something that I have not tried yet. This is a new button in the last few days since I have logged into Midjourney, and we'll see what it does. And it looks like, as I suspected, it actually zooms out that image there and starts to add detail above it, so, and below it. So we're going to see what's going on with this set here. Hopefully this will be decently high enough resolution to still be cool. And it's actually working pretty fast here. I'm impressed. But I do notice that it's got some bars on top and bottom here, so I think it's kind of like having trouble actually generating above and below that very effectively. So it's almost like this is a screenshot of something that is a different aspect ratio, which is an interesting bug to see. Let's look at it. Okay, so this just made this much lower resolution. We can't see as much detail in this image anymore. It's actually significantly zoomed out. But we do get the additional detail here in the background. You can see this is kind of a resort going on back here, and then we have more water feature up front, and then the edge of the diorama here. So that's pretty cool. I would give that a B plus maybe for cool features. Now we're going to do zoom out 1.5x and see what that does for us. And you see this word isometric. If you use this in your Midjourney prompts, it gives you kind of that looking at above and from a corner sort of view that like you see in old video games that aren't like a total side-scrolling game. They can walk kind of up and down the screen as well as side to side. That's often called an isometric game. So it looks like this is just going to generate an image of this as a diorama set here, kind of on display. So we clicked zoom out 2x, and it's even more dramatic than the make square button. And I don't know why they wouldn't just make the make square button do this. I don't really see what the difference is. Maybe make square is less of a dramatic zoom out, but look at this. This is looking really cool. Like, this could be a pretty cool post on Instagram that I would probably stop scrolling and look at and zoom in on and just like wonder how they did this. But this is our Lego diorama set. Look at that. That is fantastic. That is very cool. And this one, you can see it's kind of like in a museum setting or something. Got this wall back here, or it's like a display. This is cool too. Looks like that's like in a studio. And then on the bottom left, this looks like it would be like the cover photo on a giant Lego set box. So this is actually pretty sick. So if you were someone who likes to build Legos and do cool dioramas like this could give you some ideas for how to stage it, what kind of elements to include to make it look cool, what kind of lighting to put in there. So even though this is a totally fictional image, you could use it as inspiration for creating something in reality. And we'll come back to that thought. So let's talk about what artificial intelligence is doing here. So AI, what it's really good at is completing, let me get the mouse out of my mouth here. AI is really good at completing things. That's actually how ChatGPT works. What you type in as the prompt is actually what the AI is actually doing is it's saying, okay, what comes after what this is? So it will look at what you put in and it will say, okay, what makes sense to come after this? And so the answer that it gives you back is actually just its best guess of autocomplete of what you put in. It's kind of like when you're on your phone and you're typing something and it like auto-completes your message, but at a much, 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 much bigger level. And the architecture for doing that is called transformer architecture. So if you're doing research on artificial intelligence, know that the transformer is what's making this possible. But from a very low resolution, zoomed out perspective, transformers, what they're doing is autocomplete. And that will probably ruffle some feathers, like if you said that to like a major AI researcher, but really it's guessing what comes after what you put in. So in a way it is autocomplete. And in the same way as saying that Earth is a water planet. Like, it's very reductive, but it is true. So when you are in Midjourney and you're clicking the left arrow or the right arrow or the up or down or the zoom out buttons, what's happening is it is taking the original image as input and then kind of guessing based on what it sees in the original image, what would make sense for it to come next. So it's auto-completing the image in the same way that GPT is auto-completing by looking at what you put in as a prompt and then saying what would come after this, and that's what it says to you. So this is something that I have not really assigned any writing assignments in this class so far, but this would be a good one. Writing a 1 or 2 page mini essay. This doesn't have to be super long or difficult, but just doing a little bit of research and finding what the actual examples are out there of artificial intelligence just completing something based on the information that it has. And you can use the examples of Midjourney making more image and GPT taking your prompt and then just spending tokens to auto-complete it. So do a little bit of research on that. It can be on YouTube or Google, or you can use an AI to explain it to you. Just don't copy and paste the actual output from the AI. And if you want, you can send this to me in email, but what this is for is for you. This isn't necessarily a graded paper. This is something that you should write it to the level that if your parent reads it, they would understand what you're talking about. So taking a complex topic like AI and talking about it in a way that someone who is not an expert in AI, they can read what you're saying and they're like, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I understand that a little better now. This ability to take a fairly complex topic and explain it in a way that someone who is not an expert can read it and understand it is a huge superpower. So that's what I would like you to do for the rest of the coursework for this week, is just write a 1 or 2 page paper. It's up to you. You can overachieve or underachieve if you got other major work going on. And if this interests you greatly, then you can do quite a bit of research and find out some pretty cool stuff. So that's it for this lesson. This is using an AI art generator to autocomplete images. Thanks for coming to class, and I will see you next week. Love y'all.